Queen Victoria was the Queen of the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth nations from the 20th of June 1837 until the 22nd of January 1901. She has a whole time era named after her. Can you guess what that's called? Yes, it's the Victorian Era. Queen Victoria came to be queen when she was only 18 years old. She reigned for 63 years. She was the longest reigning monarch until Queen Elizabeth II took over that title. While she was queen, many great things happened to push forward the United Kingdom and to help with the Great British Empire. As well as being the Queen of the United Kingdom, for a time she was the Empress of India. She was born Princess Victoria Alexandria on the 24th of May 1819. She was born here at Kensington Palace in London. Her father was Edward, the Duke of Kent, and her mother was Princess Victoria of Germany. As a child, Queen Victoria didn't see many other children. Her mother was very protective, and she made sure that Princess Victoria spent her days learning with a tutor, and in her spare time she could play with her dolls. But as you know, children need to play with other children. They need to be creative and use their imagination. So Queen Victoria described her childhood as melancholy, meaning that not much happened. No one ever actually thought that Princess Victoria would become queen. When she was born, she was 5th in line for the throne. But because her uncles couldn't have any children, when King William IV passed away, she became queen. Queen Victoria had a large family, which was pretty common during this time. Queen Victoria met a German prince called Albert. After they met, they got engaged only 5 days later. Now, Queen Victoria and Albert had 9 children. Yes, I said 9 children. And Queen Victoria gained herself a nickname called the Grandmother of Europe. This is because some of her children went on to marry other royals from all around Europe. Her children were Victoria. She married a man called Frederick from Prussia. Edward, who later became king when Queen Victoria passed away. He married Princess Alexandra from Denmark. And there was Alice, who married Prince Louis. There was Alfred, who married Princess Marie of Russia. He was the first of the royal family to visit Australia. Helena married Prince Christian. Louise married Marquess of Lorne. There was Arthur, who married Princess Louise of Prussia. There was Leopold, who married Princess Helena. And there was Beatrice, who married Prince Henry of Battenberg. Whew, that was a bit of a mouthful. Imagine having to look after that many children. Good thing she had a royal nanny to do lots of the work. And Queen Victoria was said to say that she thought that newborns were ugly. I don't think that's very nice. When the kids were younger, they had many days at Osborne House on the Isle of Wight. They had a wonderful playroom, and they had an outdoor playhouse that was called Swiss Cottage. Swiss Cottage is actually bigger than many people's houses. Sadly, Queen Victoria lost her husband Albert on the 14th of December 1861. From that day onwards until she passed away 40 years later, she wore black clothing to mourn him every single day. Now, I'm here outside the Albert Memorial in London. This memorial was commissioned by Queen Victoria. That means being asked to be built. It cost the equivalent in today's money of £10 million. And it took nearly 10 years to be built. Not everyone was a fan of Queen Victoria. There were a few attempts on her life. On one day in 1862, a man came up to her carriage when she was driving down a road minding her own business. He aimed a pistol at her, but it did not fire. He got away. So the next day, Queen Victoria went down the same road in her carriage, but with extra security. The same man came back, and this time he didn't get away. There were a few other attempts on her life, but one time she was hit across the head with a cane, but it only creased her bonnet and bruised her forehead.
Oh no!
How terrible. Activity time. You will be making yourselves a royal family tree. No, they won't look anything like these trees. And we won't be doing the whole royal family because that would take you a very, very long time. The royal family tree looks a bit like this. And the one that you will make will look a bit like this. Start from Queen Victoria's parents and go down to Victoria's grandchildren. When you're making a family tree, you must include these things. You need to have birth and death dates, marriage information, so that's who they're married to, places of residence, which means where they lived, and photographs. Have a wonderful time making your family trees. Now remember, this lesson video is part of a pack, so there are some other lesson videos that you can go and check out. You could learn about children at work during Victorian times, or you could learn about everyday life. Now, you have fun with that and send me a copy of any of the family trees that you make. I'll see you guys next time. I'm going to practice my royal walk.